Yeah, I tried to click on that video before. Um, it's sometimes it's nice to just hear a kid that came up with a video to tell you, stuff. Because we're still in incarceration and indoctrination, institutionalization. So, when I was a kid, the person that uh, focused me the most on social injustice was Martin Luther King Jr. And then I was told all the white rhetoric about and Bob too. Yeah, but I grew up in Las Cruces and lots of Mexicans like Bob Marley, so I didn't have the same feeling about Bob Marley that I did that they had about Malcolm X, where they said he was like a hate monger and he was Elijah Muhammad, yes, and Louis Farrakhan, yes. Okay, they were hate mongers. Okay, Elijah Muhammad and Louis Farrakhan were, and still perpetuate that economic conflict. They're not Muslims. Okay. But neither are the people in the Middle East, the Ayatollah Khomeini, the Ayatollah, they're not Muslims either. Okay. A Muslim is someone like Muhammad and Al Hassan and Al Hussein and Ali, and those are Muslims. Okay. And Jesus is a Christian. How many people call themselves Christian and vote for people that kill people over money? Right. You can call yourself a Christian. It's not going to make you, you can call yourself a unicorn. It's not going to make a horn grow. You can turn you into a horse with a horn in the top of your head. You know what I'm saying? So you'd be like, well, you can say what you're going to say, but that don't mean that it makes it so. So you have to be, words are meaningful and words are important. Okay. And you have to be, I did see the artist rendition of Betty's life with Mary J. Blige, and the uncomfortableness of Malcolm, young Malcolm, and that is devastating. Those kind of things are devastating. The things that you have to deal with manipulation of your children because of philanthropists and how it affects them psychologically, mentally, and emotionally. Life is eternal and grace is infinite. We are what we do, and we become an invention. Steve Marley. So you become an invention to try to destroy the earth. It's mind control. It's not mind control. It's mind manipulation. Mind control is me. Okay. If you want to learn mind control, watch my videos. Okay. Mind manipulation, go to school, get a job, and pay to live here. And then fight over money to pay to live here. You are not a Muslim. You are not a Christian. Okay, mind control. If you want to control the mind and learn how to become a Christian and a Muslim and the true spirit of Rastafari, listen to I talk. I and I will see you through. Yeah, I have my largest portrait on the wall is a portrait of that I painted in Santa Fe, New Mexico, of my portrait nest of my cousin Nesta. Okay, and I'm proud to tell people that the Parsons and the Marleys are cousins. Captain Marley wasn't the best of guys, okay? But his son, special little guy. Yeah, he's a good guy. Then I do not have a portrait of Patrice, but I do have a portrait of Steve, and a portrait of Haile Selassie, and a portrait of Bigfoot that I painted for Noah in Wyoming, but I didn't get it back to him. Okay, but those are the portraits I have on my walls. All right. I also painted a portrait of Jennifer Lopez, and the Mickey Howard one didn't turn out right at all. No, because Amy was jealous, so I made it look different. She was jealous. Yeah, Amy was jealous of certain black women because Amy was lighter skinned, and more black women were mean to her, just like with Stephanie. Yeah, and very black women a lot of times traditionally and culturally are mean to women that are lighter. Okay. They're mean to them because of the tribalism. And it makes the lighter women very retrieved and very guarded. And it causes them a lot of, the tribalism is very horrible. Okay, it's very terrible. It's hard to deal with. And the personalities of dark women are very, black. And the lighter women become very guarded and very, A lot like Professor Hendricks, that woman drove me crazy. And then when I see things and I see the women, use it as an thing, you want to go to, no, Indiana wants me. Lord, I can't go back there. It's like, no, no. And, well, my Rocky, it's funny because a lot of people, are very superficial, but, I'm still very vehemently attracted to Uriah's mommy, and always will be. When we talked back on Facebook, I still found her very attractive, emotionally, physically, psychologically. There's a lot of things we hit it off. She was very spunky, and we debated about everything, about rap music, because R&B's, or Al Green better than we used to talk about it. And she used to freak out. She thought I was Mexican at first. She's like, this really cute Mexican guy is into me. And he knows, like Brian Hall said, you know more about black culture than most black folks do. And Professor Hamlet said, and just about everybody, it's, wait a minute, the white guy knows more about you than you know about you. I don't. They know them. I just know history. My mom would get the classics and the books and this, and I love people, so I would go engage and invest in people. And the one lady, one of the Shabazz ladies, it's about reading, and I stopped reading because I didn't want to become an invention of authors that wanted to make me into their own invention. I always did when I was young. When I read Plato and connected to Socrates and others and stuff, because I'm Earl from the Book of Revelation, so people talk to me in prayer. So a lot of people, I guess maybe they do. I don't know. I can't tell you. But I know for a fact that people talk to me in prayer and know who I am and talk to me, because I had a whole semester speaking to Malcolm, because he went on the Hajj and he learned of, better Islamic teachings. The 1322nd the Hadith was better than Elijah Muhammad, and the 1322nd Redeemer, right? Who's me? Okay. The spirit of John from the Book of Revelation. So, it's in the Book of Mormon. It's in the, so he's this person in this chair holding this phone, is this ghost you see in this video, okay? is a real man that billions of people throughout history focus on. His life is very important. This is the apocalypse. When he comes, when he comes, when I'm born. It's not really comes. It's life's eternal and grace is infinite. So during my lifetime is when we have world peace, because we live the true Christianity of Islam, right? The true Rastafari of Islam, the true more a man than I, because he's faithful and I'm a liar, right? And so it's true, and you have to be able to tell yourself that. Am I a liar? Do I believe in the things I tell myself? If I become an institutionalized, indoctrinated, incarcerated philanthropist, yes, you have. You're a unicorn. You're not a unicorn. You're a unicorn. You're not a unicorn. It's cute. That was a good video. The kid made that with a lot of affection. He wanted to trend and make money because it was a popular content. He did it, but he did it. He had to do it in things that he felt needed expression, because he feels strongly about Betty and Malcolm, which a lot of us do. Okay, but most people use the story of Betty and Malcolm to make lots of money, to use money to be influential, and money's not real. You're not a unicorn. You're not a unicorn. You're not an effing fucking unicorn. And I started to cry when I found out that 56. My mom was 54 when she was killed by her cancer treatment by the medical industry to try to get me to hate my father. Okay. Oh, they know what they're doing 50 years in advance. Okay. The conditions of my mom's cancer. And a lot of things, it comes from and there's this, and there's a lot of medical contributors. It's not the reason. The reason is crucifixion that killed my mother at 54. It wasn't my father. It wasn't, there were contributing factors. The Mormon Church, Eckankar, Arizona State University, all these contributing factors of, stress. You have to do this. You got to be successful. Western governors, we can do this. They can pay for this. You're already paying for it by accepting it as reality when it's not, right? You got to understand you are dealing with a human being that is supremely intelligent to the people that are abusing him to have their positions of authority and power and delusion through money and technology. You are dealing with a human being because of his humility and his wisdom through his humility and his faith in God that is superior intellectually to just about anybody on the planet right now that has a public voice for economics, and especially using technology. Okay, you listen to me talk and hear me talk and then go listen to Elon Musk, and it's like, oh my God, that's a flying monkey with a license to kill. Yeah, and he worked for the president, right, for money, so they can go around with flying monkeys with license to kill, according to people. He signed your bill, they invent things on paper and then say it's real. They're unicorns, dragons, and shit like that. Oh my, lions and tigers and bears, no, they're real, but don't fuck with them. They're lions and tigers and bears, you don't want to mess with them, right? Jeff, I was the king of the forest. All right, don't mess with them. I got javelinas. I don't mess with them. They bound when they run. They're cute, but I don't fuck with them. Yeah, Lawrence was over there taking pictures. I was like, they can get a little aggressive, but yeah, he wasn't afraid, so they knew. So he took pictures of them. It was cute. Yeah, javelinas they're a trip. I like them. I wouldn't mess with them, but they usually run from me when I go out there and hey, and because I don't mean to. I was like, now I find that they like mushrooms, so I found the mushrooms in the patio. I kick them up and throw them out in the front yard, and the next day they're gone because the javelinas come through and eat them. So I feed them. So I got pet pigs. He's a big pig. You can be a big pig too. So I got a couple of Pumbas that come around and eat the mushrooms out of my yard. They love them. Oh, we get a lot of them in the flower beds, and they come through, and oh yeah, they love them. They go around the property. When they're right by your window, they disturb you at night. It's like, what the hell is that? You just lay there when I don't want to scare it, and it's like, oh, it's a javelina. Okay, it's a javelina. Shit, I thought it was one of the pigs from Pigs in a Blanket from the assholes that do things here to me. The apple don't fall far from the tree. The assholes that murdered my friend Malcolm, and we're friends. We had a conversation and prayer for a whole semester. Okay, and he is my friend. We had some he had trouble conceptualizing a lot of things. I think he understood. When I last talked to him, I said, no, I'm not going to become a secular Muslim because it works for men, but it doesn't work for women. From what I've seen from secular Muslim societies, I'm not going to do that. Okay, so I understand his second oldest daughter completely. Malcolm's mother, Malcolm, his grandson, I understand her completely in her agitation and her anger and her emotional distress from all that abuse and all that manipulation and that selfishness and that jealousy of her father. And those trifling ass pimps were very jealous of her father. And they were also jealous of Muhammad Ali. And they made Muhammad Ali's life miserable because of their threats of violence to him and his family. Okay. Muhammad Ali I adore, He felt like he sold Malcolm out. He didn't. He just had to survive. They're not Earl, the 1322nd Redeemer. I'm in a unique position. I don't exist, but I'm able to take technology and make it into a man instead of a bitch that abuses Malcolm and Muhammad and their children over money and puts them on Scooby-Doo to sell yogurt. Hey, man, the fuck for the buck stops here. Okay, and so, girls, it's nice to see you and see the faces and the names and stuff. And Patrice Lumumba is one of my, I haven't talked to him in prayer, but I do love him. I adore him in the same way I adore Steve. And I know you guys all adore Steve. And he's beautiful. Yeah, he's beautiful. But you got to understand, we are what we do. It has nothing to do with the color of the skin. Like Martin said, it has to do with the content of their character, because the soul is the eternal essence, the infinite essence of our eternal existence. Okay, guys? All right, I love you very much. All right, peace. Ralph Abernathy, it's a good name. He's a good man. Okay, peace out.